Good morning, everybody. As you figured out, we all can't be together in one place for our end of year holiday luncheon, but we've figured out a way that we can do it virtually. So I hope you already received your holiday card with a gift certificate for whatever you're enjoying this morning, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and you're in comfy jammies. But before we get started, I wanted to make sure that we got a check-in from everybody in the Fort Worth Housing Solutions family.
Hey, it's April J. checking in.
Ara McVeigh.
Betty Battles checking in.
Candace Garcia, checking in.
Carmen Wesley, checking in.
Cynthia Trichet, checking in.
Daisy Casuli checking in. And Dave.
Deanna Broussard checking in.
Efren Herrera checking in.
Good afternoon. This is Enrique Segura, Housing Inspector with Fort Worth Housing Solutions. I'm checking in.
Steve Sims Kai, checking in.
Eva Dumas Green checking in.
Gretchen Harper checking in.
Heather Radin checking in.
Jacinto Yacane checking in.
Jody Stigler checking in.
Joyce Seiler checking in.
Juan Almestica checking in.
Karen Brown checking in.
Kiera English checking in.
Kimberly Davis checking in.
Kenny Reinhardt checking in.
Kristen Sullivan checking in.
Kurt Joy checking in.
Lachelle Goodrich checking in.
Lanisha Davis checking in.
Maria Garcia checking in.
Markeisha Thomas checking in.
Mary Kidd checking in.
Melanie Croker checking in.
Hello everybody, it's Mevelyn Brown checking in. Hope you all doing well.
Nicole Moselle checking in.
Nicole Rubio checking in.
Omar Villalpando checking in.
Pamela Sherman checking in.
Good morning everybody, this is Robert Umbaugh and I am checking in.
Ruben Renteria checking in.
Sally Anderson checking in.
Sandra Silva checking in.
Celestine Mitchell checking in.
Sheila Richards checking in.
This is Sherry Pleasance checking in.
Cindy Flores checking in.
3, 2, 1. Sonia Barnett checking in.
This is Tangela Caldwell checking in.
Tasha Davis checking in.
Risa Pike checking in.
Tony Settle checking in.
Good morning, this is Vicki Roberts. I'm just checking in.
Wilton McCray checking in.
Chris Key checking in.
Daphne Jennings checking in.
Lisa Cleveland checking in.
Good morning, everyone. Ravonda Thompson checking in.
Tyler Arbogast checking in.
Hello, Terry Creer checking in.
Denise Babiche checking in.
Lisa Nolasco checking in.
Hi, I'm Christy Knight, just checking in.
Hi, this is Autumn checking in.
Cleiza Ramirez checking in.
Charles Bell checking in.
Gay Medlock checking in.
Hi, this is Janice McNeil-Gargan checking in.
Felicia Mayberry checking in.
Hi, this is Brian Dennison checking in.
So 2020, you guys, what a weird year. We haven't really been together since March 17th, so I'm so glad to see everybody here this morning. As you all know, every year we have to set goals for the agency, and we do this not only to set our direction and keep us on track, but also for HUD. Our first goal was to create an economically sustainable and diverse real estate portfolio. The next goal was to provide a foundation for improving lives. Our third goal was to support our employees and create an organizational culture of excellence. Our next goal was to develop a continuously improving and efficient operation. And lastly, we committed to develop a sustainable business model. I'm proud of the work that each and every one of you has done to not only meet but exceed those goals in 2020. About 20 years ago, FWHS created the tagline, "A new face of public housing," and I can securely say that we're in a completely new era as a public housing authority. We've created opportunities for our residents to really choose where they live. We have over 7,500 units throughout the city in every single council district and corner to make sure that people are living close to where they want to be. Schools, transportation, jobs, all of those things that you and I think of when we're deciding where to live with our family are the same opportunities we want to give each and every one of our residents. We have 1,000 more units under construction right now and 1,000 in the pipeline. We're growing, you guys, and we couldn't do it without each and every one of you.
And this year, particularly, has been probably one of the most standout years in my entire tenure with the agency. We've accomplished a lot in 27 years, but 2020 by far takes the cake in everything that we've done, and everything that this agency really is based on. You know, between elevating our portfolio with affordable housing, but doing so during a pandemic.
You know, it really is an evolution. I mean, I can't point out one single thing. I mean, you can look at the number of units we had from maybe 1,800 to 2,000 units to now to 7,500 plus units, from 14 properties to 40 plus properties, and a pipeline and under construction of 9 additional properties. We started where our portfolio was primarily made up of public housing units. And we made a commitment to the board, and the board gave us a runway to deconcentrate housing. That was kind of the root of how things got started, and the path that we took on and where we're really at today.
This is the Vineyard on Lancaster, which is a 104 unit property consisting of permanent supportive housing units. It is right on Lancaster, in the heart of several organizations that provide services to people who are experiencing homelessness. This project is one of the ones that we're very proud to be a part of. Fort Worth Housing Solutions provided 34 project-based vouchers for people to live here. And a project-based voucher is a voucher that's tied to the property rather than to the client. So these are units that will always be, well, for at least 20 years, will be provided assistance from Fort Worth Housing Solutions. It was a wonderful opportunity for us to help with the homeless problem in the city. So people are referred to the vacant units through the coordinated entry list. So they make sure the persons who are referred really need the housing. And one good thing about this, because we work with a number of permanent supportive housing projects throughout the city, but this is one that provides all of the meals. They provide breakfast, lunch, and dinner to the residents who live here. It is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. We partner with Union Gospel Mission to do this. Our contract was effective January of 2020. And we were quickly able to lease up all of those units, all 34 units, and the whole property has a high lease up rate. So that just shows you what the need is in this community for this type of housing.
January, we were preparing, got the notice to prepare for a HUD site visit, and what that looks like is all the big wigs from HUD, they come here and see, hey, what is all the talk, what is the plan for the community transformation. And so again, pulling all of those wonderful partners back together and preparing at Dunbar High School in the Aviation Center, the band plan. This is, of course, was pre-COVID, so the band plan, the cheerleaders, welcoming everybody. That was just a really wonderful day, and I would say that's the part where everybody was just on stage and program to, you know, really explain why we are seeking the assistance of the grant. But I will say what topped the site visit off was Miss Loretta Burns, the children that she mentored, and to come together, them singing that particular song, you know, and making that performance for everybody in that room was definitely a tearjerker.
The site visit is what stands out the most to the HUD people, and we knew that. We knew going in that the site visit would really determine the final award, and we knew that we had to do it bigger and better than anybody else that had done it before. And so you took all these great minds, you put them in a room together, and we came up with this pep rally concept. And HUD actually, you know, was just blown out of the water. We had a drum line there waiting for them as they arrived, and they thought it was a rally and couldn't believe, you know, how we had put together the site visit for them and how everything played from the very welcoming session all the way through the breakdown sessions with every partner of the grant.
Well, what I can remember is COVID-19. That's the main thing that I remember. If I'm going to be asked what 2020, what do you recall for 2020? COVID-19 is my response. We were challenged to be more flexible, and we have learned that we can continue to be productive wherever we are. I mean, working remotely, and especially in serving our clients, we learned that we can do so in different ways and remotely. Virtually, of course, became the favorite word, and we did not know that we would be able to work productively wherever we are. So that's a lesson learned for all of us.
This is our file system for all of our client files. It's almost 20 years old, and when we implemented this years ago, it was state of the art. It was an upgrade from file cabinets, and it houses thousands and thousands of physical files. We are now converting to electronic files. We're going digital. We're so excited about this. We were fortunate because with the CARES Act, the funding allows us to use the money for technology to help us to telework. So we made the decision to hire the company. Before, they were providing consulting services to us, but we decided to allow them to do the actual scanning because the CARES Act funds would allow for technology. So because of that, we're going to be able to do this in a matter of months.
Well, it's my job to ensure that my staff stays safe. The residents are also comfortable and they feel safe with what we are doing when we come out, because of course they have families just like we do that we have to go back to, and we want to make sure that everyone's safe. We sometimes have families that port in from other cities, and they come in with their kids, their family, their belongings in a U-Haul. And they're outside in our parking lot, and we go out of our way to go and do that inspections to get that family housed. And sometimes this comes at the end of the day of a work week. Like today, we had a family that is porting in, and an inspection. She's in a hotel and she's running out of money. We made the inspection take place. So we reached out to the inspector in the area, and he went out and did the inspection for us so that family could get moved in before the holidays. So that's always a great feeling to have a family at home being able to celebrate a holiday together in a warm place.
Our biggest success is that we were able to continue to service the people who are in need. We were able to continue to do annual recertifications, interims, contracts, certified contracts, activate contracts. We were able to continue to do inspections. It didn't stop. So because of putting our heads together and the technology that we did have, we were able to continue doing what we do best, and that's finding and providing good quality housing for families.
And so when we started getting these communications via email, back and forth, hey, I think it's coming, I think it's coming. I think when we got the official notification, we all just screamed. I mean, it was just like, Christmas came early for us. You take that moment of excitement, you cherish it, you put it aside because now the work begins. Remember, this was 12 years in the making. I mean, not just the grant itself, but building up to being able to apply for the grant.
The day we found out in April that we received the Choice Neighborhood Initiative grant, right? Because this is a very competitive grant throughout the United States. It's very limited. I believe they only had 5 or 6. So that entire week, we knew it was coming. So anxiety builds up and all of those emotions. Okay, will they make an announcement? Well, it was something brewing in the air. People were being a little secretive. I had a phone call with some of our Envision Center friends, and they just wouldn't quite let the cat out the bag. I hadn't heard from Sonia, Mary Margaret. I normally talk to them, throughout the day, whether, work related. And so I'm just like, well, I hadn't heard anybody. What is going on? Of course, I'm on this island. See, at that particular time, it seemed like it's an island all, by yourself. And so they finally made the announcement. And to be honest, so I'm not a crybaby. I don't try not to show too much of emotions. I shed a tear because Woosah, now change is about to come.
After winning the Choice Neighborhood Grant in early 2020, we knew that we needed to make some changes to staffing to ensure that we could be responsible for it. So in July, I was really proud to announce the promotion of Sonia Barnett to Senior Vice President, Deputy Director. She's going to oversee the whole Choice Neighborhood project for the next 6 years. We also got to promote Lachelle Goodrich. She's the C&I Director. Her love for the Stop 6 neighborhood is going to be such an asset as she manages this project on a day-to-day basis.
Casa de Esperanza was developed in collaboration with several partners to provide supportive housing for 119 formerly chronically homeless individuals. Permanent supportive housing provides wraparound services. It provides housing, case management, mental health services, physical health services, so that the clients who come into this program are able to become stable and to go forth and be productive citizens. The City of Fort Worth made funding available in late September. We closed on this property October 1st, and we had to relocate the existing 85 residents. And then we actually had rehab for about 4 weeks, and we started leasing our first permanent supportive housing client on November 30th. The impact of this particular property and project is monumental. Keep in mind, permanent supportive housing are for persons who are chronically homeless. So they've been homeless for at least 12 consecutive months and have not had any type of housing stability. They've weathered coldness, they've weathered heat, they've weathered rain, and to have a place to lay their head is enormous. For someone who has been a camper, who has lived out of a tent, to now be able to put a key in a door, open it and close it and know that they're safe and secure is just amazing for most of our program participants, and they're very grateful to have that.
The journey itself began in 2017. For Butler, the goal was to move 412 families. We were halfway through that process and had our last family under the Rental Assistance Demonstration Program, the RAD program, move in February of this year. We then stepped back and said, okay, what are we doing? You know, where's the next property? How does that look? They're under construction. What are we doing here? Unfortunately, we didn't have the opportunity to really think that process through, because a few months later, this property, which was built back in the 40s, and the utilities and the mechanical features, the electricity, didn't want to cooperate with us and failed us. And so we did a lot of on-site shifts, moving people around, failed again, and we ended up having to relocate the remaining families here, thereby ending the process of RAD, because once we made the decision to voucher everybody out that was left on property, we had to give up our portfolio chap, which then stopped the whole process of RAD.
So we got our original award to convert our properties in 2012. So we're looking at, an 8-year process that we undertook, and it was promising, but because we didn't know what it was a demonstration. So there wasn't a lot of guidance from HUD at the time, and the rules kind of changed, quite a bit. As we actually started converting, there were several changes that were changed in the guidance because of what we were doing with our conversions here, particularly for Butler. I was coming through Butler the other day, coming to a meeting at the admin building, and it hit me. Because you just get in it and you're going and people are relocating and you know what's happening. But when I pulled up into Butler, it hit me. I looked at the buildings and I got a little choked up, and I said, oh my God, it's empty. All the buildings are boarded up. And I stopped my car because there was no traffic. There was nobody behind me. I just stopped at the entrance of Butler, and I got my phone out and I snapped a picture. from my car windshield. And I just thought, I had a part to do with this. Wow, it really happened. This is historic what we're doing, changing our city, changing the lives of people.
HUD for the past several years have only made vouchers available for special kinds of programs. So we've made the decision, every time there's an opportunity, we're going to apply. So last year, there was an opportunity to apply for mainstream vouchers, which is a program for persons who are under 62 years old with a disability. I was excited. We worked with some community partners. We submitted an application and we were awarded vouchers. It was very exciting. We got 200 vouchers. Then HUD gave us 60 more without us asking for those. Based on the number of vouchers we got originally because of the pandemic, they gave housing authorities more. So we got 60 more. Now, mind you, we got the second largest allocation in Texas, so that was really exciting. So just recently, HUD put out another request and said, look, we have some more vouchers. Do you want to apply for some? And we did. The first day it came out, their first day, we submitted an application and we got 100 more. So we have a lot of vouchers for mainstream. So it is just wonderful, a wonderful opportunity in this community, because you can imagine the number of people who are low income, who have a disability, who are under 62. It's great. So because of these extra vouchers we have received, a number of people will have housing.
A lot of times people ask, what do you do? I work with families. Whatever happens in your life happens in our families' lives, and that's what we do every single day. Every change affects them, every event affects them, and COVID has been a game changer. The Housing Choice Voucher Program is meant for families to live in neighborhoods, private neighborhoods, and in our communities of their choice. We could no longer touch our clients, and they could no longer touch us. That meant that we had to revamp this entire process of assisting clients one-on-one to making that through emails, through voicemails, through text messages, and any other medium of technology that we could in order to assist that family in that same personable way. And that was a big challenge, but we did it.
Family Self-Sufficiency is a program that is designed to help our program families to increase their education and job skills in order to ultimately become gainfully employed and free of welfare system. There's 5 people, including myself, on the team. Awesome ladies, awesome individuals, and have done quite well this year in spite of COVID in assisting our families. We did have one particular client that, in spite of COVID, was able to complete our educational training, was able to move forward with home ownership, was able to maintain her employment status and increase her employment status. And so with that, we dispersed over $16,000 worth of escrow actually to her. But we still had quite a few success stories. We were still able to graduate 22, that's including the young lady that I just spoke of. We 22 FSS families, and we dispersed over $141,000 worth of escrow to those 22 families. And we're expecting to graduate a couple of more before the end of December.
We are able to sustain our operations because we created a diverse real estate portfolio. And in doing so, we have learned different types of revenues. And we hope to continue this process because, as we all know, the federal funding has been declining year after year, and therefore FWHS has learned to pursue a lot of other revenues for income so we can sustain our operations. In creating this diverse portfolio, we also are able to provide the much needed affordable housing. We continue to develop and acquire properties and make them more affordable for everybody to have a good housing. that they can afford easily. So I think Fort Worth Housing Solutions really has done a good job and expanding its portfolio to really achieve its mission and vision.
One of the things that I think sets us apart, and it always will, is that we have a double bottom line. And what I mean by that is that any project that we're involved in, it has to be economically feasible. It has to be. But further and beyond that, the other part of that bottom line is that we have to impact our residents' lives. We have to provide either programming, case management, job opportunities. We've got to provide them with an opportunity to get one leg up. And so by combining both of those, it really sets us apart. And so we don't do housing without the people. We don't do people without the housing. They come hand in hand.
Many of the successes that we've experienced in the agency most recently is really due to our leadership. Strong leadership, capable, effective in Mary Margaret Lemons and the senior staff and all of you that make up this great organization. So at this time, I would like to just award those of you with this wonderful service time that you've given to this agency. We thank you for what you've done, and we hope you will continue to be with us in the future as we go to even higher heights. Celebrating 5 years with Fort Worth Housing Solutions are Mary Margaret Lemons, our president, Latoya Irving, Administrative Assistant 2 in Housing Operations and Client Services, Housing Counselor Daphne Jennings, Housing Clerk Charlotte Winston, and Housing Clerk Gretchen Harper. Celebrating their 10-year anniversaries are Maria Garcia, Family Self-Sufficiency Specialist, Sherry Pleasance, Administrative Assistant 3 in Finance and Administration, Mevelyn Brown, Development Manager, Development and Asset Management. Wow, celebrating 15 years in 2020 is Housing Counselor Joyce Humphrey Seiler. And then celebrating his 20th anniversary with Fort Worth Housing Solutions is Kurt Joy, our Information Technology Manager. Thank you so much for all your hard work. Keep it up, and we're looking forward to bigger and better things as we go forward in 2021. Thank you again.
This fund was established in 2013 to honor our namesake, Ms. Barbara Holston. She led the Fort Worth Housing Authority for over 20 years, and one of her passions was education. And she wanted to leave behind something that would continue that after her retirement. Over the past 6 years, we have given away $18,000 in scholarship funds to the participants of Fort Worth Housing Solutions. This year, our winners were Denham Greer, going to Texas A&M Commerce, Aaliyah Mercedes, who is going to Texas Wesleyan University, Tasia Odom, who is also going to Texas Wesleyan University, Rafael Escobedo, who is going to Tarrant County College, and Stephanie Garrison, who is now attending Tarleton State University here in Fort Worth. You can make a reoccurring or one-time donation through our website, that is www.bhefund.org. Donating to the Barbara Holston Education Fund is a tax-deductible contribution. However, it is a very personal reward also. If you are passionate about education and seeing our clients succeed and better themselves, then you would really want to donate to the Barbara Holston Education Fund.
In closing, I want to share with you guys some good news. I'm really excited that we are closing on a new headquarters, although I'm sure everybody already knows because of our awesome rumor mill here at Fort Worth Housing Solutions. But this is really great for Fort Worth Housing Solutions. It's a brand new headquarters at 1407 Texas Street. It's a building that's been completely redone. It has high-speed internet already there in every corner, tons of meeting spaces, an awesome break room, and a rooftop deck overlooking downtown Fort Worth. I'm really excited that we get to call this new building home. So to close out 2020, we wanted to do it on a good note. I want to thank you for each and every one of your contributions to make this year possible. It hasn't been easy, but we've done it together. And to make sure that you really knew how much we appreciated you, the board and I have authorized a one-time payment that is probably already sitting in your bank account this morning. It's 5% of your salary that's been grossed up. And for you, those of you who don't know what that means, it means that you got the full 5% and FWHS covered all the taxes. 2020 was a great year for us, but we know there's more work to be done. Tarrant County lacks 40,000 affordable housing units. As we enter 2021, we're going to be a more diverse, efficient, and sustainable operation to ensure that those needs are met. In 2020, you guys set the bar so high. So as you know, we have to set our 2021 goals, and they're of the same vein, but we've made it a little bit simpler. We've combined them, so we only have 4 this year. Goal 1, to continue to develop a diverse and sustainable real estate portfolio. Goal 2, provide a foundation for improving lives. Goal 3, develop a continuously improving and efficient operation. And Goal 4, develop a sustainable business model. So those 4 goals will guide our work in 2021. And I hope next year at this time, we'll all be back together in the same room at 1407 Texas Street, celebrating your successes. I know that we have the team to get us there.